What's good? Hello, everybody. We are kicking off a brand new podcast, and this is Slop Talk. And for those of you who do not know, this is a Big Brother focused podcast. And actually, I was an occasional watcher, which never really got into the actual seasons. And my sister-in-law here, she actually pushed us, me and the wife, to really get into the Big Brother TV show, and we became, I want to say about like 4 or 5 seasons ago, maybe 6 seasons ago, we got really into the Big Brother. And so this is Slop Talk, and we are talking Big Brother, and it is July of 2021. This Wednesday, which will be July 7th, the new season, Big Brother 23, comes out, and they have listed the cast members with their faces. And Big Brother's Instagram actually has a game for us to play, which they've been releasing the answers so far. But me and Danny here have been very good about not looking and trying to do this without any assistance. And so today we're going to talk a little bit about what we see as far as the cast members' faces, and play the game of matching the jobs to the faces if we can.
Oh, but we kind of exchanged, because you got me started on Amazing Race. So I got you on Big Brother, and then you got me on Amazing Race. So,
which, by the way, CBS, if you want to shout out some some sponsors for some free Paramount Plus subscriptions, no problem. We will do every one of your reality shows moving forward as a goal. But yeah, definitely, I've always loved Amazing Race. I want to say it's like the beginning seasons, and then there was like even like the family episode where they drove an RV across America. Now we are on Big Brother. So Big Brother season 23, we're back in the house. Although I have seen some previews, and it looks like they're changing up the house.
Are they? I haven't looked at anything.
And it wasn't like a preview where they showed video or anything.
Yeah.
But I want to say it was like on the website when I was checking on CBS when the season would start. There's a picture of Julie Chen, and she was sitting on top of like the Big Brother logo, and it was like it had like a caption of like changes are coming to the house and stuff like that. And so that kind of did the social media comment spiral for myself, where I'm just like digging through what everyone's saying. As much as I love the Big Brother, and I've really gotten into it the last couple of years, I don't want to consider myself a fanatic. Like I am not
super fans.
Yeah, there's people who say they're fanatics, and they like remember people from like season 2, and
they'll be like, so and so from season 2's from Oklahoma, and they did, and you're like, what?
Yeah,
I don't remember who that is.
And they wore Doc Martens on the show, and and that kind of thing. And I'm like, I'm not that far into it. I do love it. I do love watching how the game unfolds. I do love to see like everyone's personality not only help them in what, or help or hurt them in the game, but I also love to see their personalities kind of clash. Obviously, that's like the big one. Everyone loves to see the clashes. Yeah. So,
their strategies unfold.
Yeah. And then
sometimes it doesn't work.
Unfold or unravel depending on who they are and what their strategy is. So, but yeah, really looking forward to 23. Anything specific you're looking forward to on 23?
No, I'm interested in how, is it the same location? Are they in a different house, or is it set up differently? Now I'm curious on the logistics of everything now.
Yeah. I mean, that change in the house and thing, really, because they always do every season. They do like never been done before, or we're bringing back, something they haven't done in like 10 seasons. So it's always good to see those little surprises and kind of mix up the game.
I think I'm getting older too, because now I'm looking at the cast list, and I'm like, they look like babies.
Some of them do. Definitely. I considered myself when I was going through graduate school. So one of the occupations is graduate student, and I was thinking to myself, well, I was a graduate student, but I always consider myself a little bit on the older spectrum to be a graduate student. And so when they said graduate student, I'm looking at them like, well, none of these people could be graduate, because I'm using my face. I'm like, well, I'm way too old for this, but yeah, definitely definitely looks like some younger generation. And we'll see. I guess that all goes into your opinion of how the newer generation handles things. But
I mean, we both live in San Diego, right? So it's like we kind of have like it's like a melting pot here, and we're like, but I'm looking at these people, I'm like, there's no way that they're an attorney. They're like, they're not even legal to drink yet. So it'll be interesting to see who.
It is. There's some positions here that that I look at and I've dealt with before. So I try to fit that. But then my strategy also with picking the occupation of the person was some of these have to be like out there. Like you would never expect this person to be like a forensic scientist. And so I try to do that with a couple of them to where it wouldn't be obvious. So we'll see.
They even had like a tagline. It's not who you think. It's not always who you think, or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, great. Now you're just messing with my mind now.
Yeah.
So some of them I'm pretty confident. Don't hold me to it, but some of them I'm pretty confident. Some of them I just was just like, well, that's the two occupations I have left. So it's either this person or this person. And I just kind of guess. So
I tried that too. Like I was like, I'm not going to go back and cross out something that I already guessed. So if at the end I end up with two people and those two people didn't look like they go with these two, I was like, well, it's just going to be 50-50 with those. And in overall odds, it's going to be like 2%. But so yeah. So you want to jump right into the new castmates? Okay, so if you've been on the Instagram for Big Brother, you know there's a grid. There was a grid with all the faces that when they first introduced the cast. So we're just going to go across from left to right. So the first one is either Alyssa or Lisa or something around that, but it's the first one and it looks like an Alyssa. So we're going to go with that until Wednesday. So what did you have for Alyssa? I'll let you go for on this
for
one.
Alyssa, let's see. I have her at the swimwear designer.
Swimwear designer. Okay. All right.
Little flirty, little young, looks a little artsy, so looks like trouble. I also wrote that she looks like trouble.
Looks like trouble. I had kind of the same vibe just from her picture was the young and looks like trouble. And because of what we were talking about earlier, I had her as a graduate student. Just got done with college, maybe just getting done with her bachelor's and just getting past the party life, not done with it, but just getting a little beyond where she could still be that party girl, but is looking forward to a career. So I have her as the graduate student. Okay. And definitely
I'm okay with that rationalization, I think.
Yeah. And looking at Alyssa, do you think there is a showmance with anybody else on the grid for her?
I feel like there's high possibilities of showmances just because they all look good. They're all attractive looking. They're all young. They look like they could all be like within the same peer group. And I feel like there's more attractive women than men, but that's just my personal opinion. But I mean, we don't know if they're single or not, but if you're stuck in a house, like emotions are going to fly. You're going to like be interested whether you're attracted to them or not. And then, but yeah, I feel like she is definitely, if she's not in a relationship, not that it really matters on the Big Brother, in the Big Brother house, but I feel like she will most likely be in some kind of relationship with someone.
Okay. Yeah. Just from past Big Brothers, I wanted to say, she'll probably be in a showmance, but I'm going to go opposite of that just because it's Big Brother and they're going to throw, and I'm going to say she's probably already taken, maybe even married, and she won't be in a showmance. Not that she still won't be trouble in that department, but definitely I thought like, no, she's going to be on the side of more strategic and stuff like that. So
when I say trouble, I mean like showmance wise. That's what
or that like flirty and try to sway other people's minds one way, being in that direction. Okay. So the second one is Azah. I want to say it's Azah.
Okay, what did I do for her? Okay, I said she was the grad student.
Okay. I had her as a flight attendant.
Okay.
Yeah, just her smile and the way
Mhm.
she her profile picture looked on the Instagram. She looked like she had that outward personality,
Okay.
where she could be friendly and assistant. She could be whatever, but then also like she could be firm and have that attitude where if like people get out of line on a flight, like she has the authority to stop it. So I had her as a flight attendant.
Okay. All right. Next.
Next
Brent.
up, we have Brent. Yeah. I had him as a swimwear designer.
Oh, you had him as a swimwear
I
designer.
did.
Why?
I did. Because I feel like, first off, when I saw swimwear designer, I thought it's not going to be a girl. It's going to be like a
Ooh.
guy and do board shorts and rash guards and that kind of thing, because they put that there to make you think that it's a girl and automatically direct your attention to those. But I was like, and then uh this is one of the ones where I was like, okay, so swimmer designer, the obvious choices out of this would have been Christian or Travis due to their profile pictures. I was like,
Oh,
but it's not going to be them. And so I
it's not
said,
gonna be
okay,
obvious.
yeah. I was like, so Brent, swimmer designer, that's my like dark horse pick for that one.
I have him as a tech sales consultant. And let me tell you why. He looks like a schmoozer to me. He looks like, hey, like, I don't know. I watched The Bachelorette and I feel like they're all tech sales consultants or they're pharmaceutical sales and they
Yeah,
all look like him.
yeah.
So that's why I only put he gave me those like salesy kind of vibes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. I
I
could see
also
that.
have him down. I also have him down as probably the person that's going to annoy me the most on the show. And I don't know why. And I know we're just looking at like a picture of them, but
Mm-hmm.
that's just what I wrote down. He's
Uh,
going to
I
annoy me.
actually I had the same vibe from him. I feel like
Okay.
he's gonna be the one that like just so I and not that it's only gonna be one girl, one guy that does it,
Sure.
but I picked
Sure.
one girl, one guy that was gonna annoy me, and
I did too.
and you'll see later on my pick for girl, but I for the one guy that would probably annoy me with his antics or how he plays or even just how he plays the game, I actually picked
Mhm.
Brent. So
Yep.
it still kind of got that same vibe. So
You know, Brent's the guy, and watch, we're going to be wrong. He's going to be like the nicest guy or something. Where we're like, God, we're mean.
or
But
like the fanatic and has like the alliance and like the he has the final two immediately
he's
when
like
he
the
gets in.
mastermind.
Yeah, the mastermind of everything. Watch and like he has the perfect game. That's what
Yeah.
he's gonna be. But
No, but
but
I was guessing like, oh, he's the guy that thinks he knows what's happening, but he has no idea. And we're like, okay, go ahead and just do it and watch yourself crumble because he's gonna be the guy that thinks like, I know what's going on, and this person, and then he's gonna be totally wrong.
yeah, and those are the people that annoy us when we talk about past Big Brother seasons. Like how can they be so clueless? Like, oh my goodness. But yeah, so Brent, I had the same vibes from. And then these are I and I'm not, I'm always saying I'm not that bright of a person. I just realized these were all in alphabetical order. So
Oh, I didn't even realize it either.
I was like, I started saying their names out loud, and it was like A, B, and the next one is Brittany, and I was like, oh, that's another B. So, but Brittany, what did you have for Brittany?
Brittany, she's a kindergarten teacher.
And
I
so
just see her just, just I don't know. She just looks like a kindergarten teacher to me.
the kinder teacher was one of those ones that I didn't want to pick what the obvious look like. So I did not pick her for for Brittany for kindergarten. I picked Brittany for safety officer.
Okay, is a safety officer okay? Because I only know what a safety officer is in the hospital is and security.
I
That's what we call security is safety officers.
So so in my last office, our safety officer was just like a random person in the office that got designated as a safety officer. So I had no idea what a safety officer was. And my only real guess on what a safety officer did was exactly that, like somebody who got designated as a collateral job for their office. And I always like in my head, I always navigate to like Dwight and Angela fighting over who the safety officer is. And I don't know why, but I was like, I'm telling you, watch, it's going to be Brittany because she's going to be like she's gonna be probably something in the office, maybe like graphic design or marketing, but then she's the safety officer also, and that's gonna be the whole
Okay.
thing here. And I know they say these are their occupations, but I always feel like Big Brother likes to throw you off like that. So
Yeah.
but yeah, I had her as safety officer.
Yeah.
Um
Okay.
I also had her as the one that will probably annoy me on my girl pick. So on my female, so Brett and
You
Brittany.
think she's gonna annoy? You think Brittany is
I
gonna annoy?
I think she is. I think she's going to. So the one, so it never fails. There's always like, I would say the whiny,
Mm.
crying, the one female that always like whiny and crying, never gets her way, and she's always
I
like,
can't do the comp. Like
yeah,
I'm not
like I
athletic.
never win, and
Yeah.
oh, come on, guys, you have to help me, and you got to carry me. Like, don't put me on the block, and
Yeah.
crying
And you're
about it
like, why
instead
did you
of,
go on the show?
yeah. And I don't know why, but when I looked at like this grid, I was like, that's the one that's gonna do that for me.
That
So
corner is just
yeah,
like
that
annoying to
corner's,
me.
yeah, and we don't even want, and we're gonna work our way down. So there's actually like that, it's that corner. I feel like is I had a lot of input on when it comes to the season. Um, so yeah, so that was Brittany. Now next we have Christy, and I had her as a makeup artist.
No, I know who the makeup artist is.
Oh,
I
okay.
used to be a makeup artist. I could spot them a mile away. Christy is not. Christy is I had her down as a professional dancer. She looked a little like, I don't know. She looks
So,
like a dancer too.
so my thought on the makeup artist is probably could still fit with a professional dancer, but they obviously put Chrissy's picture here, and she's bald in this picture. And I thought, well, because she always wear wigs because she's a makeup artist and she always has to change like her how she does things. And I also thought like the wig would help her like do like different things with her makeup because she doesn't have the hairline to get in the way. But the wig thing, I guess, could work for a professional dancer. I don't know either one of those professions, so I am just talking out of my rear end, and could be totally off on what those professions actually do. So,
But you're right. You're right about Big Brother. Sometimes like they have like another job, like they're like pyramid scheming or something, whatever. Like
yeah,
that's their job.
yeah,
It's like, oh, but they dance and they get paid once in a while. So let's just put professional dancer on here. You know what I mean? Sometimes
yeah,
it's like not really their occupation.
yeah.
So like one time they had like, oh, they're a directional engineer. And I was like, what's a direct? And they're like a spin sign spinner on the corner, but they called him a directional engineer. And I was like, okay. So
Yeah.
we might be fooled by the professional dancer, but I don't know. I had her as the person the female that's gonna annoy me for some reason.
Okay. Okay.
So we'll see.
Yeah. And
Maybe because she reminds me of Christmas a little bit.
see you guys, people were annoyed by Christmas.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying she was my favorite, but I wasn't really annoyed by Christmas. I thought she had a decent game, and she wasn't a comp beast, but at least she could do the competitions. And so I wasn't as annoyed as everybody else was by Christmas. But
annoyed me.
shout out Christmas.
Shout out Christmas. Hey,
I'm gonna tag you. So
a disclaimer, like when I say these people get on my nerves or I don't like how they look, it's based on the show in general. I'm sure they're like lovely people in real life, but just based on in the house and just what I see for front value, like I could tell they're gonna get on my nerves. But
and the thing,
totally
and the thing about Big Brother is every time I watch it, I never assume like who is on the screen is what their actual personality is.
Yeah.
That's who they are in the Big Brother house. Where I know being locked in a small space with the same people over and over, you actually get a little bit out of character because you're stuck there, and it brings out different emotions. So I never think like those are those people. I always thought when I like saw Christmas, like, oh, she's probably an amazing mom and she's probably a really sweet person in real life, but then she did have kind of that competitive abrasive side inside the Big Brother home, which it probably doesn't apply to her at all outside. But
And I mean, they have to put their game face on. A lot of them have to change their personalities and occupations and identities entirely. I mean, I could never be on the show because there's no way you could lock me up in a house with a bunch of people I don't know. I probably wouldn't get medically cleared to even be on the show because they'd be like, no, you would not be okay.
See, that's the thing is you going on to the show, they would probably tell you would go crazy, and then screening me, they'd probably like, you can't go on because you already are crazy. And so we would never end up in the BB house, but but definitely, I agree with you. A lot of people have to create a different persona because some of them are probably amazingly nice people outside of the house, but if you go in there with that kind of attitude, you'll either be walked on or used as a pawn, and that's, and if you watch the show, that's not something you want to do. So but so next up after Christy, we have Derek F, which there are two Derek's, and the Derek is spelled exactly the same. I don't know why Big Brother likes to do this, but for some reason they always like to pick people like with the same name, like two Chris's, or
really have wanted them. Keep them.
So Derek F.
I had him as a safety officer because I thought a safety officer was a security guard. I feel like he just looks like someone that would be like a security guard.
It might be. It might be. It also might be like the
kindergarten teacher.
But Derek F I had as the forensic scientist.
Oh. Okay.
Like I said, a lot of my picks are they're gonna throw you off. Like Big Brother's trying to throw you off, and it wouldn't be who you think it would be. But I also think that he had this like the way he's standing, kind of like a confident picture taking. So it was kind of like
confident security guard.
Yeah, you could be a confident security guard, or like very confident in your intellect. And I looked at him and I was like, I've in the Navy, I met a lot of guys that look like him that were like some of the smartest dudes I ever met. And they were doing stuff like, I don't know, like sonar or some other random job that you wouldn't put them in. And then when you talk to them, you get this feeling like they're just they could pick up anything. And so that's why I picked him for that. And for Derek X, I had as a tech sales consultant.
Oh, I had a startup founder. So same kind of like, I'm thinking like a tech startup kind of.
Yeah. For Derek X, I said tech sales consultant because he actually looks almost exactly like a tech sales consultant that I dealt with at my last company. If you just remove the glasses, right? Like if you took the glasses off, I want to say they could probably be brothers. But yeah, so that's why I picked him. When I saw this, that's who I immediately thought of. It's not him.
Okay.
I remember that guy's name, but when I first saw this, that's immediately who I thought of. And then when I swiped and looked at the jobs, and that was one of them, I was like, that's him. And it's probably not, but that's who I had as.
Good. Valid.
I also have him as a note for him, the most clueless out of all of the contestants. You know how they always get, I mean, Celebrity Big Brother is not one to like focus on because that's just, a game for whatever. But, like the Ron Artest where they get on there and they kind of know what the game is, but doesn't really know how it's played. I don't know why, but when from his picture, I was like, that's the guy who I'm just going to be yelling at. Like, why did you even come on this show?
But like Meta World Peace, right?
Yeah.
Like, do you know what this show is? But he was my fan favorite too.
Yeah. And again, like he could be our fan favorite, but I don't know why I got that feel like he's gonna come on and be like, hey, yeah, I haven't even seen this show before, and I'm like, dude, bro, come on. Like nowadays, like
I was at the mall, I was walking, and they said, "Oh, they're having auditions for Big Brother." Okay, I'll check it out.
Yeah, what's Big Brother? Yeah,
COVID. Let me just. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I'm not doing anything right now. Yeah, so that's who I had for that.
Okay.
And then to finish the second row, we have Frenchie.
Okay, so Frenchie, I used him as the like okay, he doesn't look like the ideal. Let me make sure I have it correctly. Forensic, a forensic scientist. I was like, okay, he doesn't look. I wanted it to be like, okay, the forensic scientist is probably gonna be someone that doesn't match the person. And I said, Frenchie, like, I'm like, did he send in that photo? Like, it doesn't look like a headshot. It's like he like took a picture, like, and then he like sent it in to CBS or something. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna say forensic scientist on this one.
For Frenchie, because of the same thing, like it looks like just like something he took with his smartphone and not even the rear facing camera or the front facing camera.
Like he still has an LG chocolate phone and he took a picture.
Yeah, like he flipped up his phone to take his picture. Yeah. I have Frenchie as the farmer.
Oh, okay, I could see that.
Yeah. I don't know, because I think they try to throw you off with his first name as Frenchie, like
yeah.
But from this picture, I'm like, he's a farmer, like he's out in the field, and they told him to send a picture, and so he opened his flip phone, took a selfie, and then sent it, and then went right back to tilling the fields or something. I don't know, but yeah, that's who I had as that, and I also have him as the oldest contestant.
Maybe.
Yeah, and I think the bad resolution of the picture try to hide that a little bit. But
yes, we're like trying to like, let me see these filters here. What can we add to this?
And they're like, and then they received his picture and they're like, oh no, this is perfect. This is so pixelated. No one will ever know that he's 37 or something like that. I don't know why, but I picked him as being the oldest.
Okay.
And to start the second half of the rest of our contestants, which now I realize it's not in alphabetical order. They must have mixed it up here, but Christian, which makes me think maybe Christian was like a last minute replacement.
An add-on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're still in alphabetical order until you get to Christian, and he's the outlier. Oh, Christian, if you are a last minute replacement, I actually want to know who you replaced. But anyways, so what did you have for Christian?
I put the general contractor assistant. Now, occupations is not my thing. I don't know what every job title means. So is it just like an assistant to the general contractor, or like they're like a general contractor themselves?
Like, hammering right next to the general contractor.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I thought the same thing when I read that was general contractor assistant. They're trying to throw you off. And like this person would be like the person who schedules the appointments. So I didn't have that for Christian.
His dad. He's probably like who works for his dad.
Yeah. But for Christian, I have as a startup founder.
Okay.
I got a serious and no offense to like this group of people, but I got a serious like hemp beaded bracelet, like an organic food store startup. Like that's what his field is.
Like,
and
definitely Generation Z kind of.
Yeah, like like he's opening his own like pop-up organic food place, and they sell like hemp bracelets and boxes of crystal, that kind of thing. But I definitely got that vibe from him, and that I have him as a startup founder.
Interesting.
And then next you have Hannah.
Hannah. Oh, I have Hannah as a phlebotomist, just because she just looks like a phlebotomist. I don't know what they're supposed to look like, but she just kind of gave me that vibe. And I also had her down as like am I allowed to cuss on this thing? I don't know.
Yeah, you're allowed to. I just have to. Okay. It's a different checkbox on YouTube, but yeah, you're definitely allowed to.
No. It was just like she seems to be like a shit starter a little bit. Like she's gonna like plant seeds in everybody. And I also think she's gonna be the one that's like she wants to be in a showman's, but then like, or she's gonna crush on someone, but someone else is gonna swoop in, and she's gonna be all pissed and emotional about it. That's how I imagine Hannah to be.
Okay. And that's good. For Hannah, I actually have kinder teacher. So I have her as a kindergarten teacher. It's her profile shot is a very like school ID front facing, like like you would just take that and put that on one of the little lanyards and the cards that go on lanyard. That's what I got from her And she has that smile where she's trying to look nice. She does really looks like somebody who could like teach the kids, but kind of be that like authoritative to start their school progress off. I always give props out to kindergarten teachers, by the way, because they do have the hardest job where they have to take kids who have probably never seen school, and then not only teach them some of the basics like ABCs, 1, 2, 3s, a little bit of math, but they also have to get them prepped like mentally. When I go to first grade, when the teacher like raises her hand, everyone has to be quiet, that kind of thing. So I definitely got that. I got that.
Shout out to kinder teachers for sure.
Shout out to kinder teachers, because I have a kid who just went through kinder, and I appreciate all the kinder teachers. So and then moving next is I want to say Kyland.
Kylan?
Yeah. Oh, Kylan. Okay. It sounds Kylan. Is that Kylan? It sounds better when you say it. So we'll just go with that one.
Kylan.
Yeah. I have him as an attorney.
Me too.
Oh, there we go.
Oh,
First one we agree on. That's awesome. Yeah, I definitely have him as an attorney. I feel like this is like a off the books picture of him. Like this is him like in the park, like when he's not at work. But I definitely see what was the movie they just did? Oh no, I think it's a TV show. There was like a TV show about law on CBS that I mean it almost looks just like this guy. And I was like, for some reason, right when I saw it and I saw attorney, I was like, oh, I remember who that is. And I went back and I was like, it's that guy. And so I had no question who I thought the attorney was going to be.
Yeah. He just looks like, he looks like he has his stuff together. He looks educated, looks like a hard worker. He looks like, I don't know, he looks like a good time too. I feel like he's going to be one of my favorites for some reason. And, but yeah, I totally got attorney vibes from him.
The one thing I got from him was I feel like I'm going to be mad at him a lot, because I feel like he's gonna play a good game, but just not the way he's gonna be the guy that plays a really good game, but just barely misses it with it. Like he's gonna have a good alliance, but then, all those alliance people are going to probably be a part of another alliance. And so he's going to get into like the final 5, final 4. But because he wasn't part of the other alliance, because he was so trusting of the other 2, that he's going to be like the one that doesn't make the final 3. But I definitely got he's going to be one of the more advanced people in the game.
Now, let me ask you this. If you're going on a show and you were an attorney, would you tell them you're an attorney?
No, not at all. Not at all.
No.
I might not even mention anything in the like the law category. Yeah, I'd probably stay away from it. I'd be like, I work at the juice stand in the middle of the mall or something like that, or probably something a little bit more believable. But I don't think I would mention anything law wise.
If someone told me they were an attorney, I would instantly be like, oh, master negotiator. Like,
exactly. Someone who knows how to talk. Someone who knows their way around people.
You mentioned working at the juice stand in the middle of the mall. Like, what, honestly, if you went on the show, what would you say your occupation was?
That's a hard one. I never thought of that. Like, and I guess that's probably why I'd be like one of the worst Big Brother players. I never really thought of what I would say my job is. I'll probably just tell them that like I'm a former veteran, maybe a student. Former veteran, that doesn't make sense. I'll tell them I'm a veteran and maybe a student, just trying to figure out what I want to do afterwards. Obviously it's a little late for me to get on the show. I want to believe. I mean, I know they have some older contestants. I know they have some older contestants, but for me personally, like I don't think it's in the cards. But if I was on the show earlier, I would have probably like, oh, I'm a veteran and just trying to figure out what I'm doing moving forward since I just separated, that kind of thing.
Yeah, you definitely have to you have to say you're in some kind of field or occupation where like you're familiar with, right? Because a lot of people have been burned by that in the past. They'll be like, oh, hey, so-and-so, blah, blah, how's this? And they're like, and then the contestants be like, they lying, they're not a doctor, or they're lying, they're not like, so you have to, I think I still say I was a nurse. I feel like it's not really threatening at all. I don't know. I don't feel people like, oh, she's a nurse.
I'm sure you get it every day. But the only thing I would worry about is if you said you were a nurse, was everyone would like start like, 3 years ago I had this really bad pain in my knee. What I get it every once in a while nowadays. What do you think I should do for it? Like I know they don't show that stuff unless you're watching like the after hours and all the cams, but I feel like you would, until you either leave the show or you get rid of everybody, that would be the go-to. Like oh, I burned my hand, what should I do? Like, what do you normally do when you burn yourself? But
yeah, like people ask me like, oh, I'm having chest pain, what do I do? I'm like, go to the ER. I don't know. Like,
yeah, is it so bad that you probably shouldn't be talking to me, you should be going to hospital? Or
yeah, exactly.
Or is it just like heartburn that you normally get? But yeah, that's the only thing. But yeah, I think I would say something I'm familiar with. I couldn't be like, yeah, I'm a cell phone sales associate. And they were like, oh yeah, like who do you work for? And then
like,
what's your quota for the month? I'm like, oh, I don't know. Because if you say it to the wrong person and they're in that field or they've done that before, then you're just totally ousted and you become like one of the first one kicked off. So
yeah, you're not trusted at all.
Yeah. Which for Kylan, I hope he has a good second occupation to give, because if he is an attorney, it's not beneficial for him to say that. But then moving on the last one on the third row, we have Sarah. And what did you have Sarah for?
Director of Sales Ops.
Oh, okay. That was coming up for me soon, but I don't have her as that.
I mean, again, I'm not in that field where I would even know what a director of sales operations really does. But I just feel like she looks like a person that maybe started off as like an assistant or maybe started as an intern and kind of just like worked her way up. And because she doesn't look like what I would think a director of sales operations looks like, but it's like, she probably worked her way up. Like she quit college in the middle of it because she realized, I don't need to go to college, I'm already a director, kind of thing. So
yeah, no, definitely kind of fits the bill for that. Does look like somebody who could probably do that same exact path that you just said, like working it, made it so far, we're like, oh, I just stopped school because I'm already in the field, and then just kept pressing. But I have Sarah as professional dancer, and so
all her accessories she's wearing.
So all her accessories and kind of the flowery and the was it folk tail? I don't know, like the folk hair going on. I have her as like, when they say another one of those things like Big Brother tries to do where they just throw you off. But when they say professional dancer, I think they make you want to think like either like stage dancer or something like that. But maybe she's a professional dancer because she gets paid to teach people how to like interpret a dance. And that's what I got from her.
I zoomed in because I had no idea what we were talking about. The folk bohemian Chris.
That's it. There you go. That's the word. I was like, oh. So that's what I have, is like the interpretive artsy dancing, and maybe she's done a couple shows and that's why it says professional, because she's been paid. But yeah, that's barefoot, what I got from her.
Sure. Performs barefoot for sure.
Yeah. If she is the professional dancer, she does not wear shoes on stage. She takes them off in the dressing room, walks all the way, totally into it, and is very
she goes to Burning Man every year.
Yeah, she's very involved.
Okay.
Which brings us to our last row, and we're going to start off with Tiffany.
Okay, Tiffany, for me, I feel like flight attendant vibes.
Okay.
I just feel like she just kind of has a little personality. She doesn't really take anything from anybody. Like, she got to get people in and out in an orderly fashion. No messing around with Tiffany.
All right. I got the same thing, but as far as like attitude wise and how I expect her to be on the show, very confrontational. I feel like she's gonna get in with her position and a thing. I feel like she's getting an alliance, and she's going to be backdoored by her alliance.
You think she's the person the first day that's like, who's gonna start an alliance with me?
Yes, like in front of everybody. Like, I'm gonna see where I'm gonna put my bag. let's start an alliance, come see me, and like walk off, and everyone's like, but I feel like, what's that?
I'm sure there's super fans that know the answer to this because I don't really know the stats on all the things. But like just from when I did watch the first season of Big Brother a long time. I was a kid when that came out. And then I stopped watching, and I don't think I didn't start watching it again till like the last 10 years or something like that. But I don't think anyone has ever won where they were the person that were like, hey, let's start an alliance. So it's like I think I've just learned from watching this, like, you don't be that person that wants to start the alliance, because everybody talks about it and says, hey, they're starting alliance, and then they go home fairly soon after that.
Yeah, and it's not. I want to say it's not. It's usually they don't win just because even if they are in the winning alliance, that's always the person that you feel as a contestant is going to build not just one but a couple. So you use them to play the game between the different alliances that they're a part of, but then you get rid of them as soon as you're beyond. I don't want to say their usefulness, but as soon as they don't have any value in the house, that's when you decide to get them off. So
they're a pawn, and then they're gone.
Yeah, they're extroverted pawn. They're like, you use them to do the little feelers and get the little tea spilled back, and then you get rid of them once you don't need that anymore. But for Tiffany,
no, go ahead.
For Tiffany, I have the phlebotomist.
I could see that too.
Yeah, and to be honest, I didn't know what that was, and I had to ask. My wife's a nurse too, and so I was like, what does this mean? And I totally thought she was gonna say,
what did you think?
I thought it had to do with plants, like a botanist,
herbologist,
or a paleontologist or something like that. Like I was like, I figured, I totally thought I was gonna ask my wife, and she was like, I have no clue. Why would you ask me? But she did tell me they're the people who draw blood.
Yep.
And so I don't know why. What's that?
We call them vampires in the hospital.
So I'm going to use that from now on. I'm hoping my pick for the vampire is Tiffany, just so I can refer to her as the vampire. But yeah, so I don't know why, but when she told me what that was, I looked at this cash sheet, and it was only, I want to say it was only 2 people, and Tiffany kind of won that I don't want to say coin flip, but she was more of the she was like a 70-30 between the two, so she definitely won that one. So
okay.
And next we have Travis, who I had as an account executive.
See, I haven't used account executive, but account executive was the occupation where I was like, whoever's going last, whoever I can't figure, they're getting that title, because account executive could be like anything.
Yeah.
They could do sales. Yeah. They could, work in a bank.
They could be technical, where they manage accounts, in a technical field. Yeah. And that's my experience with account executives was I had the best account executive that I ever met was an older gentleman, bald, and he had like the Santa beard going on, all white and just like puffy and like this big, and just on it, right? And I would, if I met him outside of work, I probably would have never picked him to be an account executive. I would have picked him to be like a general contractor, and he wore overalls or suspenders every day, so when I looked at Travis, he was also my startup founder, and the flight attendant for some reason. But then giving those out already, the last one I had for Travis, I was account executive. So I'm gonna go with that.
I have him as the farmer, and let me tell you why.
Like California farmer? Because
no, like he lived in Hawaii, and his parents probably own a coconut like grove, And so now
Okay.
he's a farmer. This
Okay,
is what
that
I
makes
have.
sense.
I feel like he's from Hawaii. I feel like he wakes up really early in the morning to surf, and then he cruises by his parents' coconut grove or his coconut grove, and he's just like, yeah, and that makes him a farmer. I feel like they're being tricky with the farmer term, which I mean, you would still be a farmer even with coconuts, but like I think like when people think of farmer, they think of like cows, chickens, like a red
Corn,
barn.
wheat,
Yeah.
yeah, that kind of stuff.
No,
Milk, yeah. Yeah.
no, he
Yeah.
owns a coconut grove.
Or he's it's legal here in California, or maybe he's a marijuana farmer and he does surf every morning, but he lives here in California and it's legal and that's what he does. And and if that is true, huh?
I think we can both agree he's a surfer.
Yeah, definitely a surfer. He has the hair like pinned up. Like I don't think that's his full hair. I think it's like pinned up, and just the way the picture's taken, it looks like that.
And he doesn't have a shirt on.
And he doesn't have a shirt on. So I mean, there's not, or maybe he's just a slackliner. I mean, that's the other option. Another Burning Man or another Joshua Tree participant, if not a surfer. So, but past Travis, we have Whitney, which is our second to last. And I'm going to surprise you with this one. So for Whitney, she is my general contractor assistant.
You think they're trying to like bust our bottoms a little bit?
Yeah, I feel like she's the one who has the dad that's a general contractor. And she does all like the scheduling and all the payments and all that stuff. And that's what they mean when they say general contractor assistant. Again, I don't work in that field. I've never had to deal with anybody in that field. So I could be way off, but in my mind, that's what they were trying to get to. And I picked Whitney.
She's for sure the makeup artist.
Oh, you said you a makeup artist?
For sure. Her makeup looks good. She looks like she works at the counter at Nordstrom and she's like greeting you with like a free makeover. She does like weddings on the weekend. Like she just kind of her hair just kind of has that like, I don't know. She's for sure the makeup artist. If she's not the makeup artist, she's gonna be the general contractors. It's gonna be something like we would never guess. So she's definitely not in sales. They want us to think she's like in sales or something. But
I also have the note for Whitney that she is going to be a problem on the show. Yeah. I have outspoken and pisses about 40% of the people off first day. Just from the things she says.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think she's always going to come out for the competitions looking good in her Lululemon outfit, and but everyone's gonna be like, "What are you're no use to?"
yeah. Like she's gonna have the tights, the Big Brother Supply T-shirt, but it's gonna be like tied up in a knot, or it's gonna be cut midriff. Like how they do their own thing.
She's gonna alter the outfits for sure.
Yeah, and then she'll be like the first one out, and be like, why even dress up? Like, why even come out here? And I think she's gonna say things that are just gonna piss a lot of people off, and that's what I have for her.
She's always gonna be a have-not. Always.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, she's always gonna be a have-not.
We'll finish with the last one, and I'll give you my picks for for sure have-nots.
Okay.
But so the last person we have, bottom right corner, and with the last with almost one of the last letters to start his first name, Xavier. Mm-hmm. And so what did you have for Xavier?
So Xavier was like, I couldn't read him very well. I know he's probably gonna be the one in the gym all the time. So all the recordings of him, the footage of him, he's gonna be in the gym, like talking to his bros. Like I just have a feeling that's gonna be him. But account executive only because I'm like, I don't know what else he does.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He just got account executive by default.
I have him as director of sales.
Okay.
I feel like he looks like somebody who could be really good talking with people, and really good as far as not being too pushy, but authoritative to the point where, like the car salesman sell kind of talk, where he makes you feel like you're like he pushes onto you that you're making the right decision to do what he's telling you to do. And then I think
like you can't look at it, you can't look at him in the eye because you're like, oh gosh, like he's very like convincing of things.
Yeah. And then on your note, I do think he's one of the ones that is physically fit, that does a lot of gym, and that makes it more more intimidating for him to be up there, which as far as the director of sales, if you ever need someone back up, you go call the director of sales, he'll come in and he'll seal the deal. That's why I picked him. I think he looks like I said, good talking, good personality, but also authoritative, and being the director in any position, you'd have to have pretty decent authority to you to make your people work for you. So that's what I had for Xavier.
Yeah, I wrote account executive, aka gym bro, aka comp beast.
I definitely okay. So let's new category.
Okay.
Well, not a category, but new subject. Comp beast.
Uh-huh.
So I have 3 comp beasts,
Okay.
and I have Xavier.
Mm-hmm.
I have Derek,
Mm.
and I have Azah. Those are my 3 comp beasts.
Okay. I have well, I only had Xavier, but I would go with Xavier. I'm gonna go with Alyssa on this one, just because I feel like she's petite. She probably has a lot of core strength. She's gonna be the one that's like hanging on the those challenges where they're hanging.
They're hanging.
Have to hold yourself up. And then I also have. I'm gonna go with Travis too, because he's a surfer. He has core strength.
Yeah. But the hanging and the light body is the whole reason why I picked Azah. I felt like she had like she was probably gonna have a smaller frame, and she'd be able to keep herself up and like hanging from like the poles or gripping onto like the walls a lot better than anybody else on the show. So that's what I had for comp base for the 3. The problem is I think they, just going through this list, I don't think they all end up in the same alliance. So that there is a competition there. And obviously everyone wants to win comps, especially HOH, right? Because then you're in control. So yeah, that's the whole cast. That's all the jobs. I think I can unmute Big Brother on Instagram now and even start tallying up some of the scores here. So that way, when after the premiere, when we talk about our initial reaction to the cast in the initial episode, we can go straight into, we can talk about which ones we got right. I'm actually excited to hopefully we both got Kylan right. That's the one that I just want to be right on because we both picked it.
Yeah. Watch for wrong.
Yeah.
That's okay. All right. Top three. Winners, not like favorites. Just who do you think is going to end up in the top 3?
Top 3?
Or who do you think is going to? It doesn't have to be like your first, second, third, but just like you get 3 people to think that you think that might win the whole thing.
3 people that are going to win the whole thing. That might win the whole thing. Not who's going to be in the top 3. Which one is it?
No. Yeah. Just you get 3 people to pick who might win the game.
I have. Well, Xavier was my pick to be in top 3, so I'm gonna go with him. I thought it's gonna be a dark horse to win this season, so I wanted to pick Frenchie as my winner. And then obviously for the same reason, for what was his name? The last surfer guy that was on there. He was just in BB All Stars. Anyways, just to relate, I have Travis. So those would be my 3 picks for winners.
Travis. Oh, you think
the surfer? Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I have Xavier. I have Frenchie too, but Frenchie only because I think he's going to be a floater. Like I think people are going to think like, oh, like, he's just going to float on by. Like he's going to be involved in the right alliance. That's who I think what's happening there. And then I'm going to go with I don't know. Maybe Derek. I think we kind of have like the same. I feel like Derek is going to be good.
I think Derek is when like the whole comp piece thing. I think Derek's photo is the way it is to be misinterpreted, and I think he's almost as much as a gym guy as Xavier. Now I'm gonna be wrong on Wednesday and watch. He's gonna be like big and heavy and suck at all challenges, but that's the only reason I thought he would be good at challenges. So, but those are my three. Yeah. So you had Xavier, Frenchie, and Derek, right? And I had Xavier, Frenchie, and Travis.
Yeah.
So no girls this one.
Like, yeah. No, I think it's I think it's gonna be a guy this year, not because it's a guy, but just because I just think that's the game that people are going to play, and that's how it's going to end up going. Tyler is the surfer guy. Tyler. That's who I was relating Travis to, was Tyler, and they both start with a T. So yeah. I think he's.
Well, since we both picked, our top 3 picks, and they were all male, which female makes it the farthest for you? If you were to put $5 for the female that makes it the farthest, which one would you pick?
The farthest. Maybe. I don't know. It's okay. Maybe Azah.
Okay.
But part of me thinks maybe Alyssa, only because I feel like she's gonna be part of a showmance.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's the only reason why.
Okay. I was going to say mainly because, and see, this is another Big Brother cast member I don't remember, or house guest that I don't remember. But the podcast girl, I think she was on with Tyler. Well, she was definitely on Big Brother All Stars. Was it Caitlin? The small girl with the glasses. She's like she was a podcaster.
Kaylana.
Maybe that was it. But for that reason, I was gonna pick Sarah. So I felt like if she is the professional dancer and does interpretive dance, she's gonna be kind of the floater that you were saying that Frenchie was going to be. Like she was going to be
like she's like non-threatening.
They're going to use her to do votes one way or another. I honestly think she's going to go through an emotional wreck near the end of the season, where she starts finding out that people were using her to vote against people that she liked, and all the stories that they were telling her were all wrong. And that was my opinion of Sarah, is like she's going to be the one that goes the furthest, but when she gets voted out, oh man, it's going to be heartbreak.
Nicole, I think you're thinking of
Nicole. That's it, Nicole.
You know what? We need your brother on this. Your brother, my husband, on this podcast, because he would know all the names. He would remember everybody's names. He would know the facts.
Yeah. So definitely gonna have guests throughout the season. It's gonna be a long season, and there's like 4 episodes a week or something like that. So definitely gonna have people come on and visit and talk with us. Maybe we can get some new Big Brother people. Maybe we can convince somebody who hasn't watched it to come on and then be a voice on that side. So we'll see. But
yeah, I'm gonna see if I can get a couple people I know to watch the show for the first time and just kind of get their input on what they think. Just go in blind, not even knowing what the show's about, how it works.
Yeah, don't look it up. Just it starts Wednesday at 8. Yeah. Yep. Definitely that would be a good take on it. Is like someone who, because I remember the first time I watched it, like when you convinced me to watch it throughout the season. I know when I first started, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna keep watching it. Like, this is so much to get invested in. But then once I think it's like, I want to say it's like second HOH, then you're like invested and you're like, whoa, like what's gonna go? And it does. You have to get through like the first week. Because the first week everyone's kind of new and you don't know what position to take. But yeah. Okay. Well, looking forward to a great season, Big Brother 23. the house keys are already distributed. This has already been filmed, right? There's no live. No, it's live because there's cams.
That's live.
Yeah. Okay. So house keys. Everyone's flying in. House keys go out. Our house guests check in soon. Big Brother 23. Hey, Julie Chan. I'm gonna tag you too. Can't wait to see you. One of probably my favorite hosts of reality TV shows. Next to Phil on Amazing Race. Phil on Amazing Race is probably my top.
CBS is on point with the hosts.
With the hosts and the reality shows. So Survivor, Big Brother, Amazing Race. If anything, keep those guys on contract because don't let them go. Yeah. But yeah, so Big Brother 23, can't wait to see it. This has been Slop Talk, and we can't wait to talk. And we're gonna come up with more segments as we go through. But if there's anything you guys want to hear, definitely like, subscribe, and comment below. We'll make sure to include you and mention you if you comment below and let us know if there's something you want us to hear us talk about, especially throughout the season, because obviously
we're gonna make some slop. We're gonna try it.
We're definitely gonna get the recipe and get some slop. We'll probably have the most guests we can for the slop episode because I want everyone to try it and I don't want to have to do it multiple times. So yeah. I'm a visual person, so
it don't look good.
It doesn't look good. So, but all right, can't wait to start the season. We'll see you guys we'll do it on Wednesday after the show, so you guys will see it Thursday. So we'll see you guys on Thursday. All right, have a good one.